Good evening. Now I'll start. How is everyone doing tonight? All right. So, this is my first time using this system, so we're going to try this out and try to hold it. If it doesn't sound good, tell me. You can't hear me? Now can you hear me? Okay. Welcome to our 2021 annual meeting. So this is a recap of 2021. We'll do some business meetings, and then I will do a little presentation at the end that is kind of out of the agenda, I'll say. Okay? So to start it off, I was going to say a few words about this place. It's been over 2 years since we've had a potluck, almost 3 years, in fact. So when we sent out the notice, we sent it out with this video link, and I was going to show it tonight, but I think I'm going to be a little long-winded tonight, so I'm going to tell you, please watch this when you go home. It's a John Gussman film with Elaine Gurnell telling a story about returning salmon to the Dungeness, and it's about coming home, and that's what I feel like tonight is. It's us coming back to our home to have a potluck and enjoy company and be with community and be together in this building, which I think is a beautiful thing. So, I am so glad you're all here tonight, and I'm so glad that you brought all your tasty food, because I didn't eat lunch, so I'm super hungry. Okay, so, few special thanks, of course, to you, members. You are what makes all of this possible. This would not be possible without you. Our volunteers, even though we haven't been able to use them a lot in the last 2 years as far as in the center, our volunteers complete an incredible amount of work. Oh, I don't know, a $5 million+ capital campaign, for example, would be a good one on volunteers. Our park, you'll see some other things that I'll have in the slideshow tonight about what our volunteers accomplish. But our organization is a volunteer-based organization, and volunteers are our absolute lifeblood. So thank you so much, volunteers. And then our staff, besides myself, I'm not thanking myself, but I work with incredible people. One is in the back there still working. Vanessa is here tonight. Jan, unfortunately, has pneumonia, so she's not here tonight, but she's home healing up, and she is amazing. Jenna Ziogas, our education coordinator, is flying back from the East Coast from a wedding. And then, of course, Roger McGee is our gift shop manager and does volunteering on the weekend. They are all incredible people, and we are so lucky to have them here at this facility. So thank you to all of them. So, to start, I'm going to do the annual meeting business first, and then I'll show you highlights. So we only have a little bit of business. The business tonight is a small change to our bylaws, which I think was sent to you already, but I'll explain it when we get there. And then, of course, board member elections. So we'll start with board members. We have 3 outgoing board members, and I just want to say a few words about each one of these people because they're all incredible. So Mark Megahan will be leaving our board because of family obligations. Mark is an incredible person who is hands-on. Him and his wife, Alexis, volunteered nearly every Friday and Saturday when the center was open. Mark is incredibly hands-on. When I had a problem in the center, like something wasn't working, instead of calling, a repair person, I called Mark. And Mark would come down and totally be able to take care of 80% of problems that would cost us a lot of money. Mark will be missed for sure. Wanda Schneider, who has been our treasurer for 6 years. Anybody that's been a treasurer knows that's a difficult job. Just to tell a little story about Wanda, right when she came on the board, Wanda, myself, and at the time Greg Voiles, the president, went to a nonprofit conference about bookkeeping and kind of that type of stuff. And Wanda raised her hand at one point and asked a question pretty much over everyone's head in the room. And Greg turned to me and he said, "We're with the smartest person in the room." It's so true. Wanda's done some amazing things. She is going to stay on for a little bit to help with books, but cannot be stressed enough about flow charts, books, numbers, things that get Wanda excited and really are helpful on our end. So Wanda, thank you so much. And then Annette Hansen. Honestly, Annette, there's nothing I can say up here that hasn't been said about you. You are a wonderful, amazing person that this building owes a lot of your dedication to. I could go on and on about you, but I'm not going to because it'll embarrass you, and I plan on embarrassing you later. So we'll leave that. We have 3 new board members that are going to come on that we're suggesting. So these are from our board and their suggestions. So this next one, we'll take a motion from the floor and then we'll vote on it. I'll tell you a little bit about each of them. So our 3 nominees are Kathy Strozik, which Kathy is in here. Where are you, Kathy? There's Kathy. Tom Mix, who is not here tonight. I didn't see Tom yet. And then Rochelle Blankenship, which I just saw walk in. So the 3, Kathy has been involved in our organization the whole time. I have worked with Kathy through the schools and then through Klahani's, through Rotary, through Nature Mart. She has volunteered for many things. So Kathy is one. Tom Mix helped start nonprofits. I've worked with Tom quite a bit on educational programs here. So Tom and I have built a lot of trail around Sequim. I think between the 2 of us working together, we've built about 5 miles of trail around Sequim. He's a hands-on person. He is backcountry horseman. He will be a person that's very much like Mark Megahan in being hands-on. And then Rochelle Blankenship, who is a tribal council member. She's a tribal citizen. She has a very strong financial background, so I bet you can guess why we asked Rochelle. So I think the person that's most excited for Rochelle is, besides myself, is Wanda, sitting right behind her. So those are our 3 nominees. Can I get a motion from the floor? Okay, and Ken moved to accept by acclamation. Do I hear a second? So we got a second by Annette. And then all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Anybody abstain? Good. Yay! Easy schmeezy so far. Okay, our next one that we need to vote on is a bylaws change. With COVID and everything going online, the state of Washington changed some rules and regulations to allow online meetings and online voting. Before, we were not allowed to do that. There are some more changes coming down the road that we will need to vote on our bylaws, but this was an easy one to do now, take care of it, and be able to vote online. So I will also need a motion from the floor. Anybody want to make a motion for accepting these bylaw changes? Greta? Oh, sure. Oh. Okay. So we need to update our address. Okay. 1943 is correct. But still need a motion for this one. It won't change this. Lynn? Okay, so Lynn made a motion to accept this. Do I hear a second? Second. And all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Any abstain? Yay, that one passes. Good. Now we can get to the fun stuff. What was that? The second, who was the second? I heard like 3 seconds. Ken seconded. Okay, so now the fun part of the meeting. You will all get an annual report by the end of this meeting. It will go to your inboxes. We, as much as possible, are trying to be an environmental organization and reduce paper. So you'll all get this. In your annual report will be all the financial charts, all of that, and pretty much everything I'm going to show tonight, maybe a little bit more in your annual meeting, or excuse me, in your annual report. I want to give a thank you to the people that helped with the annual report and then tell a little story about it. of course, staff, membership committee, board, all those who wrote articles, and then, well, that's it, photographers. So the thing about the annual report is Jan was putting that together, and then about a week and a half ago came down with pneumonia, right? So Jan couldn't finish it, which is unfortunate for Jan. That's awful. Luckily, we have a very talented person in the back of the room named Vanessa Fuller. And Vanessa helped pull it off. So big thank you for the team effort on that one, Vanessa. So Vanessa helped pull this off, and it should be waiting for you. So I'll start with the sexy stuff first, membership and financial reports. Okay, so all these will be available to you. If you have any questions, you can email me, and I will try to answer them the best I can. Operating income, we did extremely well. I think part of this is in part because we got a dedicated fundraiser for one. So Jan taking on that job is looking out for operating funds a lot more for us. So we did extremely well in the fundraising and the grants. We got a very favorable grant at the end of 2021, which was from the NEA, National Endowment of the Arts, through Jamestown of $100,000 just to support staff time, which obviously bumped that number a bunch. Donations almost remained the same. Earned income actually went up. And then book sales, even though we were closed the whole time, Roger was pretty insistent about doing online book sales, and it still brought in money, so Roger was on top of it. So our income looked good. This does not include any legacy draw. So this is no legacy draw, and this is without any capital campaign funds in there. As a comparison to 2020, you can kind of see right here, so $440,000 in 2021, and in 2020 it was $293,000. So very successful as far as that. As far as expenses, we did $403,601. This includes into our operational categories. So when we do spend money, we really have to put it into one of these categories. It's either got to go administration, programs, fundraising, or kind of other miscellaneous. And this is how we report to the IRS. So we categorize all of our funds, and then when it comes out the door, we have to stick them in these. And this is a comparison to the year before. So 2021, we spent $403,601, and in 2020, it was $383,628. So pretty good. And as far as charts, for those who like pictures, this is a comparison. So we were definitely in the black in 2021 and did well. Any questions there? Okay. This is our membership, so we continue to increase about the same rate. I will say with a new center, I expect this to take a big bump next year. I'm hoping that it'll take a big bump next year. So just invite your friends and family to become members. Members and volunteers are what keeps this place open. So just keep on spreading the good word, and I think that that will happen with the new building and doing more programs anyways. Okay, some of our work and accomplishments. Pretty atypical year again. We had to be closed for several reasons. COVID, of course, but we decided to do a giant construction project too, which kept us closed. So this last year, our big ones, we had to spend a lot of time building this building and managing this project. So building expansion was a big part of it. Logo and mission statement. So we redid our logo, of course, at the last annual meeting, even though you all found out about it. We changed the mission statement. You all voted on it and approved it. Preparing the park for changes, which I will talk about at the end. Communication work, new website. Has anybody been on our website in the last 3 weeks, month? If you haven't, go check it out. Vanessa managed that project, did an amazing job. Virtual learning, we kept on doing virtual learning. Adult classes resumed, so we started doing like flowers walks. Bird walks started again to a small group. Nature Notes and the River Current newsletters. We started releasing newsletters every month and weekly as far as the educational ones, which has been great. And then a lot of work by Jenna on the exhibit work, which you will all be excited come this fall. And then keeping a very busy park open. And that's been a lot of it. Then a few. This, of course, is our new logo, our new name, and our new mission. To get here took a lot of collaboration, a lot of work. So I'm extremely proud with the new logo, name, and new mission. The mission really doesn't change our cause. It just makes it easier to remember the mission. It's shorter. It's about half as long. So as a director that stands in front of people, it's nice to have a 12-word mission or 11, whatever it is, instead of our old one was 23 words long. So that makes it a little bit harder. So nothing changes here, though. We're still doing the same stuff that we're doing. It's just a shorter mission, a more inclusive name, and then Salish art that represents not just the Jamestown tribe because it's Salish, but a bird for our bird partners, and even the river colors in there. So the reason a pileated woodpecker was chosen is because it makes homes and creates basically habitat, and we like to think that we're creating homes and habitats for people's minds a little bit. So they're a constructor of the natural world. So some pictures of what we did. We, of course, developed a world-class nature center. I'm extremely proud of that. It's a world-class nature center. Everyone that's walked in here so far that's not a member, I'd like to think is going to become a member because they see this place and how much love we put into it. So just a few pictures of it. I know you all walked in. I really want to do a candlelight dinner on that left picture. Gift shop, and then, of course, did anybody get Hurricane Coffee tonight? I'm very excited to be partnering with them. And then our gift shop, this is just a shout out to Roger. The original architect's basically estimation for a gift shop was about $30,000 plus to set it up. That's not merchandise, that's shelves. Roger did it for about $1,000 and did it all just doing it. Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah. And then, of course, the room that you're sitting in with a great TV up front, not that screen in the picture. A volunteer-powered rain garden. One of the more things that was, and there's a lot of people in this room that worked on that. One of the more amazing things that, caught between COVID and a shutdown building, we didn't get to involve volunteers with a lot of hands-on things. A lot of the things we were doing were in boardrooms and meetings, making decisions. And then we had this opportunity to partner with WSU, who needed a demonstration rain garden. They provided all of the plants, the engineering, the design, and then we had about 45 volunteers over 2 days install the whole thing. So that rain garden out there was all installed by volunteers, which I think is just a nod to this place. It's how it should have been done. So that's good. School programming, it was another difficult year. I'm really excited to do the annual meeting for 2022 and say we just did 6th grade field trips. So we're now accepting kids back, and we can do that. But in 2021, the schools still were not comfortable with sending kids. So we didn't get to do very many kids programs directly with kids. We did take advantage, and I reported on this in 2020. Jenna, along with Faro Marine Life Center, made some instructional videos about what we do in 5th grade field trips and what Faro did in 4th grade field trips. And then we use these videos to educate in classes. It was still tough in classwork, to say the least. So this will be coming back next year. We actually just had our first 5th grade field trip in over 2.5 years, about 4 weeks ago, which was a relief to have kids back here doing this. So we will get back on the kid train very soon, but we couldn't do it this year because of school. So Jenna spent an incredible amount of time, energy, her knowledge, helping develop what will, and this is the educator in me talking, be the heart of this place, which is the exhibits. So really, I'd like to think that we're a teaching organization. That room will allow people to learn on their own. It will allow us as teachers to take people in there and expand upon what we're teaching. It's really a storybook of the Dungeness. And Jenna has put an incredible amount of work into it, along with Kathy Steichen, who's not here tonight. But they've both done an incredible amount of work here, which is definitely towards education. You'll get to see these. Right now, they are all being fabricated, and they get installed in October in about a 2 or 3 day span. The whole thing will be installed. When it's done, it's 3D trees. It's a lot of our taxidermy. It's 2D trees. It's a trip down the Dungeness. So right there in that one, you're looking at alpine, subalpine, and montane forest. And don't worry, we have them change the forest so it doesn't look burnt. Okay. And that's just the layout again of that room. So you can see lots of love and effort will go into that room. Now, one thing that we did get to do with kids, and I'm very thankful for this one, is summer camps. This is, once again, me going a little off track, but I've worked here for nearly 20 years. When I started here, I didn't have kids. I've had 2 kids since. I've had my son go through all of our summer camps, and now he's my counselor. And then my daughter, for her first year last year, got to go, and she was so pumped to go. So we did a few summer camps last year. We did a ODT bike camp, which we'll do next week, same one, where we start at Diamond Point and over 3 days make our way to the Elwha with kids. It's awesome. And that's all these kids made it to the Elwha. And then we do a in the woods bike camp, so I take them trail riding. That was an adventure. And then this last year, we also did Girls in Science. We did it a little bit different this year. Every year, Girls in Science has been in this park, but because there was a lot of chaos in this park at the time, Jenna decided to take them to different places. So they went to Dungeness Park, Dungeness Spit, and I want to say Robin Hill for the 3rd day, and explored different parts of our area and did natural history in those parks. So pretty awesome. And then a glimpse into some of our community programming, which we definitely do with our partners. This was not one of them. We were closed. Okay. Number of park users. So the park is a community program. It's a place for people to learn, relax, study, those type of things. This year in 2020, even with everything going on, we crossed 250,000 crossings on Railroad Bridge. So a lot of people are using this park for all sorts of things, whether it's their daily journey, whether it's their respite, whether it's to see some really cool Christmas lights or to take a bike ride. It's definitely still a growing park. We did some online classes in 2020, so we definitely did Exploring the Dungeness Watershed, and we also did Virtual Beginning Birds. So these are 2 of the ones that Jenna and I teach together. And then Flowers came back on board in 2021. And in that one, this was unique and in person with adults. Thanks to the city of Sequim, we bought, and John, I'm assuming these work well. Okay, we bought this briefcase that basically everyone sticks on a headset, and you can be 10 to 15 feet away at the next person and probably 50 feet away from you, John. Yeah. John can talk. He can say, oh, coming up, you'll see such and such on the side of the trail, and everyone can hear. It really allowed us to get back into in-person programming probably sooner than we would have otherwise been able to do. So that was a grant through the city of Sequim allowed us to do that. And that's honestly equipment that we've kept on using, and they're using this year, and we'll probably use for other programs going into the future. So here's a thank you to you. And now I'm going to go off script just a little bit. Okay? So we're also doing a major project out here. And it's a wonderful project that's going to put a river right off here, a side channel. It's any chance I get, I would probably take a chance to restore a river. And it's been an interesting process that has had some heartache in it. I'll say that. But in the end, I think it's going to be wonderful. This is a view of it from a couple weeks ago of beginning to take out a levee. Unfortunately, with big progress comes sometimes some loss. And we had to take a loss, and there's 2 specific places that we lost that were very special places. One was our amphitheater. We did a lot of larger events in here. I wouldn't say this thing was used a lot, but when it was used, they were special events. So we did Light of the Moon. We had big ceremonies in there. There were weddings in there. A lot of things happened in there. But to be honest with you, the one that probably hurt me a little bit more was a picnic shelter. So in this picnic shelter, this modest little place, I have taught 18 years in there. Roughly 500 fifth grade field trips, roughly 60 summer camps, a lot of picnics, a lot of meetings. So when the project came up, I will say there was a couple people that were upset about it, and I said I would give a little kind of spiel about the picnic shelter at this meeting for Ken Wiersma. So Ken, I'm giving a little spiel. But Ken even reminded me about a week ago that, damn it, I should have saved some of the wood out of that picnic shelter. So our grand opening happened on a Sunday. They were supposed to tear out the picnic shelter the Friday before. I begged them to not do it so we could have a grand opening and still have that and have one last time to kind of look at it. And then I asked what time I had to be there on Monday morning. So Monday morning I showed up, Ken. Right as that excavator was rolling up to tear it out, I didn't have power. I pulled out my chainsaw and I cut out your picnic benches. I put a stack of them. And then I thought, I got 2 weeks, Ken. What can I do with 2 weeks of time? And then I thought, I can make some gifts. So Ken, Annette, Jenna will get one, and Bob Bokelheid's going to get one. I made benches. So, these benches, Ken, you're taking one home tonight. I have benches up here. And I'm going to tell you the story that goes with them a little bit too, Ken. I had a tree milled out of the park that came down. I had the legs and the bottom made out of the tree. The top is out of the bench. It says DRNC, Dungeness River Nature Center, and that says 20K on it, for the 20,000 students that were taught in that building. So, Ken, Annette, I know that you put a lot of love into this building. I know that we had to tear it down for this project. I hope this is a small memento that you can take with you and remember that 20,000 kids were taught in there because of you too. Bob, I know you're online and I know you're listening. So Bob, one of these is for you, and then one is for Jenna. And then, yes, I kept one for myself because I've done a lot of those field trips. So, with that being said, I wanted to keep tonight short so we could get to eating. So, does anybody have any questions for me about 2021? Okay. So the next 10 minutes is going to work like this. I thought instead of putting us all in this room, which felt inappropriate on a day like today, you can tell me where you want to sit, whether that's in our small boardroom, this room, the hallway, or outside. I have some tables staged in each, and I will set up some tables, and you can find a table, and you can sit at it for a potluck. Yes. Yeah, please.
I think I could speak for Wanda, too, since Wanda and I are going off the board. Term limits. Just definitely to say, especially, I would just like to thank all of you for your help and support these past several years. And Wanda and I will not be disappearing by any means. We'll be working on committees, and we have follow-up work for the capital campaign. But just thank you on behalf of us, and we just appreciate all of you. Thank you.
With that, dinner is served.